Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we talk all things reality TV or whatever. As you see, we are joined by the wonderful, beautiful Selena. Sal, how you doing?
Hi, good. How are y'all?
Well, I'm doing horrible because the tea today.
Oh no.
The tea today. Can we get, please? It's the beginning of the podcast. Everybody just joined. People are probably going to see this. Can we get a moment of silence for me and all of the other jailer stands really quick? Because it's bad for us. We don't give it a good 5 seconds.
No.
No!
Y'all have been dragging the Montes the whole season.
And it's going to continue.
Yeah.
It's going to continue.
See, personally, I've been neutral this whole time. Whoever was giving my sister the dick, I was here for, and Monty gave her the dick.
No. Okay, that's good. I like that. I do like that. Yeah.
I don't like that.
My sister has been sexually frustrated for a while now. Okay, she need to get her little rocks off. And if Monty, a man that he is, had to provide that for her, hey.
And this is why I'm conflicted, because I don't like that man. Not 1 ounce of me likes that man.
Okay,
However, I agree with the fact that if my good sis needed it, because I can just imagine she's on day 70. What is it? 70 days?
70 something. It's been a while.
And not 1 kiss. Not 1, because Alyssa done got it. Brittany is married. Taylor is a single woman.
I mean, but also too, we have to we have to separate the person from the art, okay? Monty got a body on him. He got some thick thighs.
Hey.
He got a nice sitting cake. I don't know, if it was me, I would have did it too. I'm telling you, Monty could have called me all types of names, baby. If he wanted to sit up there and cuddle with me at night, baby, I would have gave in.
No. Y'all, I was literally going through it. On my Twitter, I had to take my Taylor profile picture off. I done put Joseph on. I was like, I needed a moment. I needed a few hours to compress and just understand. When I got the news, y'all, that news was like hitting me like it was like somebody just told me like, I don't know, like I failed all my class. Like it just hurt inside. It did. But now time has passed. I've gotten over it a little bit. But I'm still.
Quick question
Joseph.
to Selena though.
Okay.
So Tylen or Monte?
Oh.
No.
No, wait. No. Thailand, obviously.
Okay.
I was thinking of the heat of the moments.
Now that Monte moment, ooh.
That was real hot. Okay. Remove the everything else. That was a hot moment. You know what I'm saying?
It was a hot moment.
I was gagged because it was so passionate. I was like, get a room. Well, I guess they had a room, child. I mean,
listen, she was stroking that lotion. That lotion was practice for the real thing. Okay, I know what to do, baby. You know,
and y'all, Taylor could have fooled me. I don't know about the Monte stands, but I never stand that. So in my mind, Taylor never showed any interest. Period. In my mind, I never saw Taylor show an interest in Monty. So when it happened, the way, like the passion, and I want to say Taylor is probably just good at what she does. Like if that could have been anybody, that could have been fucking, Michael, and it would have been the same thing. But I just
had that visual of Michael.
Okay. Shit. I do want to explain because I'm not trying to get jumped, but also I just want to explain. Okay. If I had felt like Joseph liked Taylor the way that she liked him, I would have been more with that. Whenever they were like chained together and it was cute at first, I was like so into it. Okay.
Yeah.
The whole thing with like Monty, I mean, I just like seeing him like her. Okay. And I mean, it's funny, it's silly, it's whatever. I don't think they have to be together or whatever. And like, also, I just want her to have fun. And I also like want people to realize that this is a smart, capable woman.
Period.
She's going to make the decisions that she's going to make. And I don't think everyone needs to be jumping down her throat being like, you're so stupid. Look at all the shit Monty did to you.
Right.
She's going to know. She has the information available to her. She's going to do what she wants to do with that information. So like the way I'm tweeting, it's not like I'm like, they need to get married. Monty's a good man. Okay. I'm just trying to be like, y'all, let Taylor live her life. Period.
Yeah.
Period. And I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yeah. I'm just here for the flirt, man. Child, the kiss was hot. I was tuned in. And honestly, for me, this just proves that Monty has clearly had a crush on this woman this entire time. I mean, it makes sense because you don't speak on someone 24/7 if you do not like them. And best believe, Monty will still continue to get dragged. This don't change nothing.
Not a thing.
But if you want to kiss on Taylor and relieve some of her stress, massage her, nether regions, he can do that. I'm here for it.
Okay.
Oh, God. So that was the news today. I'm stressed. Lee don't care, and Selena is standing. So that's where we're at.
That's where we're at. It's hot.
Let's talk about this motherfucking week or whatever.
Okay.
So we started off the week. Girl, it was a mess.
It was born and fine, and now all of a sudden
it's a mess, and I'm stressed. Like, I don't know. So we started off the week. First of all, Terrence got evicted. Who? Right. Michael got evicted. He done exposed Brittany's whole entire game to the whole entire house. So going into
wait, pause, because the way Brittany's face when Michael exposed her. Michael,
she looked like she saw a ghost, y'all.
Michael, she was gagged. Why did he gag her up? Because the thing is, exposing Brittany does nothing for you, Michael. You didn't won 10,000 competitions at this point. Like, what is exposing Brittany gonna do for you in the last hours, babe? Hang it up.
The last hours, babe. The final minutes, babe. The last seconds. It was crazy. Selena, how did you feel about him exposing Britt Flea? No shade.
Oh, I thought it was okay. This moment made me like Michael so much more because I realized in that moment Michael is ruthless equally to everybody. And if I had known this before, I kind of would have. He still did use racism to his benefit, but I just realized this man will use anything to his benefit.
Literally.
Yeah.
So he's like ruthless all around. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No, Michael definitely gives. He would have thrown his own mama under the bus if he needed to.
As he should. And I love a player like that. I do love a player like that. When it comes to
not the mama.
Michael as a when it comes to Michael as a player, I really like that. But hold on, let's do a quick timeout. I'm so sorry, everybody. Real quick. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, what are you doing?
Yeah.
BFFR. Go ahead and subscribe.
Because we just hit 1K recently.
Comment how you feel about the Monty shit. I don't like it. Comment how you feel about that.
Team Monty or Team Jailer?
Or Team Jailer. Give this shit a thumbs up. Go follow Selena. You got a lot of shit to do. So maybe put it on pause and come back. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we back. Yeah, I fuck with Michael. So Michael leaves. He exposed Brittany game. Brittany is she was already spiraling. It's crazy how it went from a spiral to a tornado, babe. It's a hurricane. We're at level 7, level 10 hurricane. Hurricane Brittany. Like, it's going crazy in the house. So she goes into this week being the main target. All the girls essentially agreed that she can go.
Okay, also pause.
Mm-hmm,
Did you talk about Terrence and the way he left? And apparently what he said to them before he left?
Girl,
we talked about it
in another video. But what you want to say about it?
Well, just that he had apparently told Taylor he was going to poison the jury against her and vote for Alyssa if she sat next to Alyssa in final 2.
Oh, I didn't know he told Taylor that information.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
he's such a nasty little man.
That's why when we watched that episode, I was watching it like Taylor looks mad. Like when he was giving his speech, that's why she was mad because he literally, she said he threw all this shit at her right before he left. And she said, like, I always feel like I have to choose between my race and my gender. And he was basically trying to tell her to her face that she was a sellout, like.
My thing is, he's so weird for that because he's been walking around this entire season dragging her behind her back. Like, be fucking for real. You try to evict her next to a racist. Like, his word holds no ground. I cannot wait till his ass gets out of that house because I will be dragging his ass right back to that fucking bus that he drives.
Yeah, mind you, he's a bus driver. Like, worry about making money instead of selling people out. I don't know. There's a lot he should be doing. Right. So, that just pissed me off. Now I'm gonna be mad. Brittany is going to be the target for everybody going into this motherfucking week. We just went off the double eviction where Monty got second in the HOH. He won the veto, and now he won this HOH. Ooh.
So it's
now
giving
Brittany
new
was
company.
9 seconds. Brittany was 9 seconds behind.
9 seconds behind. It was the what was it? Like the little dark room competition. Apparently it was some horror theme. Child Taylor had a panic attack, my sister. So she timed out, and Brittany was 9 seconds away. It's giving companies Brittany because we know she won that veto too. Child, I don't know. Y'all was low-key sleeping on Brittany. She might not be that bad these competitions.
I know. Oh yeah.
That's scary. So,
as long as she on Taylor's side, she can win as many competitions as she likes.
And that's what's questionable because she's just she's acting out. So we go into this week, and Monty, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit surprised that Monty was targeting Brittany over, but was he targeting Brittany over Alyssa? That's the thing. At the beginning of this week, it was getting a little confusing because Monty did his what's called one-on-ones. He told everybody in the one-on-ones a different thing. We knew he was nominating Alyssa and Brittany.
Right.
But he told Taylor he's targeting Alyssa, and Turner he's targeting Brittany. And he also told both of them if the veto gets used and the other person has to go, then the veto gets used and the other person has to go. So I don't know what his true opinion was on that situation. I don't know if he actually wanted Alyssa to go. But I don't know. What do y'all think?
So I actually think he was trying to get. I feel like he actually wanted Taylor to win veto and legitimately have Turner be up, which sounds kind of crazy, but like I think he knows he can never take a shot at Turner, and also that Turner is, even though that's his final two and he'll do what he says, Turner is kind of a threat against him. I could see the jury like having a hard time between those two, both because of Turner's relationships with the jury and because he does have wins under his belt, you know?
Yeah.
So I actually feel like a Turner accidental backdoor was his real plan.
Mm. I feel like he was low-key just keeping like every single option open. Like he wanted to make, like if anything happened, he would be able just to slide into it because Monty he really reminds me of that Xavier type of player where it's just like you're going to just go with the flow and then kind of just go with the flow of the game. So like that way, no matter who won veto, no matter who was voting, I mean, he told everyone the right thing, what they wanted to hear, so he was good. I feel like in general, it seemed like the HOH was going kind of messy. And I mean, if Taylor does end up going this week, that wouldn't be the best thing. However, so far, I do feel like as an HOH, he's handling it kind of well. Mainly because he really does wield this sort of control. And in this moment, he has Turner kind of under his wing, willing to do whatever he wants. At least that's what's being portrayed. So if he still has Turner vote regardless going into that vote this week and Taylor does stay, then I think this was a really successful HOH.
I agree.
Yeah.
And Selena, I like what you said because you mentioned how you feel like he wanted to accidentally get Turner out. And I think Monty is thinking so much about the jury because he's mentioned to multiple people in the house, like, I'm not going to be able to take out Taylor myself. So, if it accidentally happened, that's going to be the best way. Same thing with Turner. So I do think that he might have wanted that path to happen because he feels like if he directly is the reason someone gets out, he's going to lose their jury vote. And he doesn't want to lose Turner or Taylor's jury vote. What do y'all think about how the Twitter girls were saying Monty needs to take out Turner? Because I didn't get that, but some of the girls felt that.
Yeah, I don't really see that argument. I think people are kind of going based off of Turner's game on paper, and we've discussed this in previous podcasts. There are some players who have an on paper game, and if you watch the show, you know what actually happened. If you look on paper, Turner's game looks pretty good. He won HOH, he got out of the mirror. One HOH, he took out what's their face, Kyle. One HOH, he took out Michael. So it's like these are 3 big moves that he has under his belt. However, if you've watched the show, we all know that he was heavily influenced in making all of these moves. He wanted to go back on targeting Amira once Nicole and Daniel went off on Taylor. He did not want to put up Kyle at all. I mean, even when he did put him up, he advocated for Taylor to stay. And then with Michael, Monty had to beg this man to put up Michael. So I feel like the jury would be privy to that because think about it. Indy and Jasmine do not like that man. I don't think there's any situation where Turner gets Joseph vote because you remember Joseph said in the the jury house segment that he doesn't respect Turner for, going with Kyle and things like that. I mean, he might get Kyle, but it really just depends because I feel like if Monty sits next to Turner, like he wins. Like Monty has really high win equity at this point. I don't really think it matters who Monty sit next to at this point, honestly, except maybe Taylor. But I do feel like he even beats her.
Mm-hmm. It would be close to Taylor. I don't think he beats her.
Oh, well, I hope not. I hope not.
I think it'll be very close, but I don't.
My fear is misogynoir. I just feel like he's gonna have, if he sits next to Taylor, he's gonna have, I feel like Kyle, Terrence, and Turner just straight up. Jasmine and Indy both were in love with him. I do not think Taylor necessarily gets Joseph vote, but we'll see. And then there's Alyssa who's probably just gonna do whatever the man wants. No shirt. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I just don't know. Even Michael mentioned Monty is the reason this move happened, and he respects Monty so much. So it's just I don't want to see that. I would love for Taylor to cut his ass, but I don't know.
I like that you mentioned misogynoir because I feel like thinking back to past seasons where women have won the game, it's been in a season where a lot of people were diverse in the cast. Like the fact that this cast has more diversity, if Taylor were to win, especially against a man, I think it could be a slight testament to the fact that there's diversity. I feel like a big factor in her win will be Joseph. And Joseph is someone who she could have related to in the house. And he gained a very close bond to her that she didn't have to any of these white players, I will say. And I think that diversity really helps when it comes to even the misogyny of the game. Because if you look back to, what's that woman's name? She's blonde, Jordan. When Jordan won her season, there was 2 women in the final 2, but you also have to remember that season was the first season with a heavy amount of diverse players in that cast. And that was when a woman won after a big ass gap of women not winning. And then when you get Nicole's win happened when there were a lot of diversity in her cast too. We had Davon, Zakiya, Victor, Natalie. So it's like when they have diverse cast, it also helps the misogyny that comes along with the season sometimes. Right. Sometimes it doesn't. Shame. And it's still always present. But I do think that because this cast is a little diverse, there's a lot of different ways that the vote could go at the end. So I think Taylor has a chance. So where was we at? Monty decides that he's going to nominate Brittany and Alyssa. Everybody knows the plan, including the nominees. He nominates them. The goal is that whoever wins veto essentially is going to get what they want. Because if Turner wins veto, he has the chance to get out Taylor. If Taylor wins veto, she can get out Turner. If Brittany wins veto, then somebody else got to go up. And if Alyssa wins veto, blah, 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 you get it. So they play the veto. And it's the one where you got to wake up.
At night.
Yeah, you got to wake up in the middle of the night. And
right.
You got 2 minutes to go.
We literally wake up, I swear it's like, 7 a.m.? We wake up to Brittany winning. We wake up to the worst news in Big Brother history that Brittany has won power veto. When I tell you, mind you, I was sick as a damn dog. So I'm getting terrible news on top of a headache and a strained throat. Like, child, it was terrible.
It was bad.
It was so weird. It was so weird that Monty couldn't compete.
Play.
Child, apparently, I don't know if that was part of the veto or what. I don't like this twist, but apparently he had a set time to get outside, and that was part of the veto. And he was brushing his teeth and flossing, and they said you can't play. But, child, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Me neither. So Brittany wins. What was the veto? Because I don't know. Not gonna lie.
I'm not too sure what it is or what it was.
And I also don't care. So Brittany won, unfortunately. She, of course, is going to use the veto on herself, which means that someone has to be the replacement nominee. This is kind of when the big he should take out Turner sentiment came around, but He did not do that. He chose that he was going to nominate Taylor as the replacement.
And it was really weird because after the veto, like Brittany decided to have a conversation with Taylor. Well, this conversation just kind of came about. And essentially, prior to Brittany winning the veto, she was really kind of being ostracized. And I won't say being ostracized. She just was the target. So, and she really isolates herself for most of the time because she loves to play victim. So she really wasn't even talking to us. She wasn't really talking to a lot of the other house guests. And after she had one veto, no shade, the girls had to go talk to Brittany. So Taylor went and talked to Brittany, and she was basically discussing, I understand that we may not have been talking that much, but I do want you to know that you were still part of my in-game plans, and we're still the final 3. And I just didn't like this conversation because Brittany was literally gaslighting Taylor throughout this entire thing. She kept saying things like, oh, well, I just don't understand why you believe that Turner over me, because the whole conversation is about Turner basically saying that Brittany came to him and wanted the final 2 and threw Taylor under the bus, which are things that did happen. And Brittany's trying to say, why would you believe him after working with me for so long? I just don't understand. If we've been so close, how is he able to sway you? And it's like, girl, you're not a good liar, okay? Like, I don't know. Like, so many people have corroborated what you've said. It's only 5 people in the house. Like, be for real.
Yeah.
And this conversation pissed me the fuck off because I just really didn't appreciate the unnecessary gaslighting that Brittany really was doing to Taylor. Mind you, she knows Taylor has went through a lot in this game. So for her to sit there, use the fact that she just won the veto as a sense of power above Taylor was so weird. And mind you, when like Michael was HOH or something, Taylor was sitting on the HOH bed and Brittany kept having comments about Taylor thinks she's above us. She's sitting on the bed like she's just better than us. So I believe that when Brittany won this veto, she felt like, ha, actually, I'm better than you. I just beat you in the veto. Let's have this conversation now so that I can gaslight you because I have the power in this moment. Now you have to rely on my vote. And I don't like that at all. That gives weird bitch. And I don't like weird bitch. That just gave me just nasty energy. It really, really did. It just showed like a nasty side of her because there was no point of the conversation. I also feel like this with the conversation that Monty had with Brittany, but at least Brittany was actually doing the things. Brittany is gaslighting Taylor, pretending and lying randomly, because this wasn't asked, randomly, actively lying to make Taylor feel dumb. Her whole intention of that conversation, the point of the conversation, was to make Taylor feel dumb, which is weird, because you didn't have to do that. It's bad gameplay. But it didn't even feel like gameplay. It didn't feel like she was doing it to clear her name. It felt like she was doing it to make Taylor feel like a bad person, and that's weird as fuck.
And she did that she did that earlier in the season to Indy. She did it to Jasmine. It's like, I mean, that's just not good jury management, like in general. Like, I understand you feel like, oh, this is your chance to get your comeuppance because Brittany is like a career underdog. Like, Brittany obviously wants to feel like she's the underdog in every single situation, but she puts herself in these situations a lot of the time because of the shit that she does. Like, you would have had Taylor's trust 100% if you wouldn't sit up here trashing her for the last week and trying to work against her. And now that she realized that and tried to combat that, you're upset and it's just weird. And even now she's moping around like she's just the most alone woman in the world. And it's like, girl, you literally have allies that you're pushing away.
Right. Yeah, Brittany is very desperate for power. And I think she's very also like intent on punishing people who she feels have wronged her, which is everybody. It's like a classic victim type complex. And
very much so.
Yeah, so she's even done it to Alyssa. Like, she had like a weird conversation with her where she was like trying to make Alyssa feel bad, and Alyssa was like, "What? I don't know."
Literally what? Literally what?
Right.
Yeah, she's a weirdo. So after that weird ass conversation, there is the veto ceremony. He puts up. Does the conversation with Taylor and Brittany happen after veto? It does, right? Yes. Okay.
After she won veto, yeah.
Okay. So he puts up Taylor. Taylor's the final nominee, but there is a final 3 deal made with Turner, Monty, and Taylor. Basically, Monty has like convinced Turner to agree to voting with him to save Taylor, even though Alyssa's on the block. And he also kind of encouraged this final 3 deal with Monty, Turner, and Taylor. What's weird about this is that I genuinely think, I know Turner agrees because he talked to Brittany about the vote and he was like, well, I mean, it's looking like we're going to vote with Taylor because Monty told me to. And it's like, why do you do everything that a man tells you to do? That shit pisses me off. And like, he's doing what I love. Like, he's saving Taylor.
Right. Like, this week, it's fine. This week, it's fine. This week.
Right.
He's honestly been fine every week because he got out Kyle because of it. He got out Amira. And he got out Michael because of it. So if he got to listen to a man.
One thing about Turner, he going to be convinced to save Taylor. I know that's right.
I know that's the fuck right.
This man, every time Turner has had a position of power, he has wanted to target Taylor. And someone has told him, look, player, not that one. And he said, well.
Not that one. Well, and he said, okay, yes, sir.
Yes,
so when Monty said, you will be saving Taylor, he said, okay. And so now he will be saving Taylor.
Well, that's the thing. He tries to give a cute little backlash. Oh, well, Alyssa's my friend. We don't care about none of that. Okay.
Yeah. He says, yes, daddy.
Yes, daddy.
No, quite literally. So he made sure that Taylor was going to be saved. Taylor's man, Monty said. Oh, yeah. God. Taylor's man ensured that his woman will be saved.
Right.
I gotta stop.
Mind you, honestly, I'm Monty because Jailer Joseph went out the door dragging Taylor's game to the ground.
But he had to do. He's the one who got Meerkat out.
No.
So when the Meerkat out, where was Monty? Where was Monty when the Meerkat out?
I'm sorry. I have to bring this back up. It made no sense for Joseph's game to throw Taylor under the bus. That was
and it made no sense for Monty to say that Taylor was a stereotype of every black.
Now he is eating her and he is keeping her safe. So guess what?
As soon as Taylor lays eyes on Joseph, Monty's gonna disappear from her world. She won't even know who that is anymore.
Girl, I don't know. She got that beefcake. I don't know if she gonna know how.
The real beefcake is in jury. Did we forget what Joseph looks like? I think we
honestly probably did. He ain't been on the feed for a while.
I think we forgot. He looks like a man.
You see. I like shipping her with someone who's still in the game. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Joseph is blowing Indy's back out. Anyway.
Honestly, because y'all ship her with a man and Jerry calling this girl baby and all of that. Y'all can have that, and y'all know Jasmine is trying to get with him every single day in Jerry.
Jasmine is married.
And stop her in the house?
Be with Jasmine, but listen, honestly, Indy is pretty. Okay.
Indy is pretty, but she's not Taylor.
She's not Taylor, but she's throwing it at him. And I'm gonna be real, okay? Listen, Joseph is for the streets. He does like Taylor. He definitely does. But he likes all these women equally, in my opinion. He was like asking Amir on a date afterwards. I know it was like kind of to be a menace, but also I think it was kind of like to shoot a shot for real.
Low key. Okay. Joseph gives me that boyfriend that has a lot of female friends. And it's like, and he's like, oh no, they're not, I'm not messing with them. They're just my friends. Like,
See, okay, I see a lot of myself in Joseph, even though I'm not fine now. Let me tell you why. When it comes to like the way he flirts with literally anything that breathes, I feel that. And when I look at what he's doing, it's giving, he doesn't give a fuck. He just flirts with anything that breathes. Like when he was flirting with Amira, he was just flirting with Amira.
Okay, well, I don't like this because that means you're trying to say Taylor anything that breathes, and she's definitely not.
No. And then, wait, I'm not done. But when it comes to Taylor, it didn't give that. He seemed scared to flirt with Taylor. Like he seemed more actively flirting with the other girls. And then as time passed, he warmed up to flirting with Taylor because he actually liked Taylor. My thing is, at the end of the day, they're gonna be together.
I feel like, in my honest opinion, like I said, I'm neutral on both, and I just genuinely don't give a fuck about Monty. No shade. Like I'm here for the kiss. I'm here for the slow burn, but he still ain't shit. I don't think Joseph liked Taylor. I honestly didn't. I'm not I don't think like. Of course he flirted with her. Of course it was fun. I don't think he necessarily because ain't no way y'all are that close and nothing sparked. Not saying anything even sexual. I'm just saying like nothing sparked past a friendship. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I always just thought was weird. I mean, they were literally chained to each other.
Yeah, and like I know everyone, I've seen all the clips of Joseph saying the things about potentially a relationship after the game or whatever, but we also have to remember, I don't think Joseph is a liar, okay? But I do think he's a very, very passionate person all the time.
Yep.
I also do think he likes to people please, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But so if he's talking to me, he's gonna like, I think, just feel very strongly about what he's saying to me in the moment. I don't really know that that's actually how he feels ultimately, though. So like, I take his words, his actual words, with a grain of salt. And I don't know. I think he just likes to flirt. And like, honestly, it was when they were tied together that I realized, like, I don't really know how much he likes the reciprocated, like, feelings back to him, because they were like forced to be together. It started to get kind of awkward. I was like, oh, I think he's liked chasing her, but I don't really know if he likes the feelings back now, you know?
Farrell, you seem upset. You mad? You mad?
No,
the Joseph slander.
I have some thoughts.
Yeah,
that I shouldn't say on the podcast
about
no, they're problematic. So I'll leave it. Lee, I'll tell you afterwards. Maybe you too, Sal. But anyways, yeah.
Ooh.
So
are they too vulgar for the potty?
No, they're just problematic. Like, I just shouldn't even think them. But I thought them, and I'm gonna be honest. Listen, I think, and let's address this real quick. I think it's important to acknowledge that, you know, we're not all perfect as humans. Sometimes we think horrible things. I thought this horrible thing, and I'm gonna keep it to myself until I tell Lee. So, but we'll move along. So, because I'm thinking it. Okay, but anyways, Monty has nominated that girl Taylor and Alyssa. So it's been established that Alyssa's going home. Brittany should be voting out Alyssa at this point. Monty has made this final three with Turner and Taylor, so they should all be voting out Alyssa. Alyssa should be going. It's kind of looking a little bit smooth sailing for a minute. There is a conversation that happens between Monty, Brittany, and then Taylor. Or Taylor's kind of in the room, but the conversation barely involves Taylor. And this conversation was another weird one. This was the week of weird ass conversations. It's giving.
This is actually
the house
before the renom. They're trying to get him to put up Turner.
They are.
Brittany's plan is that she and Taylor are going to go up to the HOH and they're going to convince Monty to try and put up Turner. This is a plan that Brittany started saying she wants to try to do when they first had the conversation, her and Taylor. So essentially, Brittany goes upstairs to Monty and she get caught in all types of bullshit and lies. Okay,
like it doesn't even give. She's pitching. The whole getting Turner on the block thing is done in like the first 2 seconds, because the whole entire conversation for 2 hours is about how Brittany getting caught up in everything she did. So it's like a child.
And some people were saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, I do think that Monty has definitely said some very, very weird things about women. And that definitely needs to be addressed. And so, but some people were saying that he was being, you know, maybe too abrasive or just a little bit rude in that conversation. I don't know. I didn't get them teased because I just felt like Brittany was getting caught in her bullshit. Like, to me, it was like he is questioning her on things that she has lied or tripped up on. Like, he literally was like, what about this day when you said this specifically and now you're saying something else different? Like, I was like, that's kind of what the whole conversation was. And she ended up looking stupid.
Yeah. Okay, let me speak on that as a woman, okay? Because when I didn't get that he was speaking to her in a misogynistic way, I don't think that means that what people are saying about him having very problematic views is invalid, if that makes sense. I just don't think this one conversation was evidence of that, because if I myself have felt so frustrated with Brittany that, like, I know I would probably snap at her in that moment, then, like, I can't fault him for also, like, snapping at her in that moment, you know?
I just think her, victim persona that she always wants to portray was getting to some of the girls in that moment. And it's just like, no, she's getting caught out on bullshit. Like, she can, like, how she sat up there and talked down to Taylor when she won that veto. I essentially feel like that was a similar conversation. It's just, I feel like maybe that power dynamic looks weird because he is a male and then she is a woman in the conversation. But I just feel like I didn't get that vibe. I got the vibe that she was getting caught out on her bullshit, which she deserved.
Yeah, I think that's what it was just the fact that he was a man and she was a woman. So it just feels a little bit uncomfy. Because
he said, like, he said some pretty nasty things, which, like, it's never going to go.
Yeah.
gonna go, you know, unforgiven.
I feel like taking that combo in isolation, that's the exact same thing Brittany had been doing to every person who got evicted from the house prior to, was literally talking at them about what they did and how they were wrong throughout the entire game, and literally broke down their entire game. For like an hour, she was talking to Jasmine, doing the same thing. But I just feel like since the power dynamics is weird when it's a man talking to a woman, especially when he's in a position of power above her, it just feels weird. And I think that's kind of where all those underlying, plus all the things he said, and I think that's where those underlying feelings came from the situation. But in that moment, I don't think he was being. But I'm not a woman, so it don't even matter.
Yeah.
But
so get my opinion. If you're a woman and you thought he was doing that, then bitch, he was doing it. I don't give a fuck.
Whatever y'all say. Truly, honestly, if you're a man, it really doesn't matter what you think. Period. So, anyways, they have this conversation, and kind of throughout, he's literally just laying out how she's a liar. She's kind of playing a little bit victim, in my opinion, in the situation, because a lot of the time her response just kind of centers around the fact, but that's not what it was happening, because I had to do that because when me and Michael found out, we didn't have time to tell you guys. Every response, it had like an excuse that kind of put her in the position of being the victim. And she does this a lot, but in that conversation, she just kept doing it. But it didn't really matter because he was clocking her every.
Yeah, because time. her argument, because basically Monty was questioning her on why didn't she tell the people of color, the black people, about what Kyle had been saying when he had first said it. And her excuse is that she found out much later, which halted the reasoning to be able to tell you, which is like, I don't know why would you even lie about something like this. Like, yeah, you did not find out the exact same time Michael did, but you did find out relatively around the same time. It's not like you found out a whole month later, babe. It was within the same week. You were able to have conversations with Kyle within that same week saying how this is wrong. So I just feel like now is not the time to lie about something so serious. Just say, well, I don't know. Like, clearly they don't believe it because it's not the truth, Brittany. So just tell them the truth. It's like, I hate someone who gets caught in a lie and then continues to lie. Especially Brittany, because Brittany is such a bad liar. Like, I would just laugh in Brittany's face.
Yeah.
She seems like the type of person to start believing her own lies. Not even seems like. It's clear. It's clear that she believes her own lies. When she was talking to Taylor, she hypnotized herself. I said this before. She hypnotized herself to believe the fact that what she was saying was true. She genuinely thought Taylor was wrong for believing all of the lies that she was telling her. It was fucking crazy. It was really scary, actually. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little scary watching Brittany have these conversations. It seems like she genuinely, I don't know, gets me the icky. So, they leave that conversation. That conversation's done.
Goes nowhere. And then
I believe
now
Taylor's the renom. Yeah, now Taylor's the renom. Taylor has a few conversations with Brittany. Brittany talks to the cameras one time, and you kind of don't know where Brittany stands a lot of the week, but she does talk to the camera, and she says that Taylor's the only person she can trust. So it looks like she's going to save Taylor in that moment. Turner talked to Brittany about the vote. They had a conversation, and essentially Brittany was like, Turner was like, let's talk about the vote. Brittany was like, well, we already know where we voted. And Turner was like, do we? And she was like, yeah, Monty said that you said you're going to do what he wants. So you're going to save Taylor. And Turner was like, oh, you're right. So Taylor at that point looks like she's going to stay. But now, very recently, it's giving.
So let me just do the. Now, so the thing is, I'm reading the update, so we may be in the clear, besties.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so basically, what's happened today is that Brittany is spiraling again. You know, she had these spirals throughout the season where she just starts thinking, and then she just puts herself into a hole. So she is upset mainly because the other four have been hanging out a lot because they're able to stay up later. You know, Brittany, she likes to go to the bed at her allotted time. The other girls are staying up to watch the sunrise every damn morning. So I think that, on top of feeling isolated, on top of isolating herself, on top of the overthinking, just really caused her to break down today again. So she's crying in the bathroom, really, really upset. She feels like Taylor is redistancing herself. She feels like Turner, everyone is just distancing themselves from her, which I don't think is necessarily true. I think she's just separating herself from the group, but hey. So today she's in the bathroom. She's crying to herself. Alyssa walks in, and for some reason, Alyssa now wants to play the game of Big Brother on day 70-something, okay? Right. So 2 weeks before the finale, now she wants to step her foot into the game, and she's basically telling Brittany, you know, Alyssa's smart. That's the thing. I'm not gonna shade Alyssa too much because Alyssa's smart. She knows when she talks to Brittany to play up the white woman tears. No shade, because when she's talking to Brittany, it gives very much, you know, no one ever trusted me in this game. I've been lied to. I don't know what's going on. People don't tell me anything. I feel like I'm at the bottom. She's crying with Brittany. It's a very vulnerable moment. So while Brittany's also in her vulnerable moment, she feels like she's building a connection with Alyssa. Alyssa is dropping information like, well, Taylor said she would not use the veto if she wanted. They're all talking about Final Four to the end. They're saying, I can't trust you, Brittany. And Brittany starts spilling the tea. She tells her, well, me, Monty, and Taylor had a Final Three since Direfest, Brochella and Direfest. She told her that the plan this week, this is exactly what she told her, is that Turner, for his safety, has to evict you, and my vote does not matter. You have to go and get Turner. Mind you, Turner told Brittany not to tell her that he was evicting her, and she straight up told her. So we don't know where Brittany's vote is going, but from this conversation alone, it looks like she's leaning more towards Alyssa. She did not give Alyssa her word. Alyssa was kind of looking for that, and she was still kind of like, go talk to Turner. Go talk to Turner. So we don't know where she's at. Brittany had a little solo thing recently in the bed where she was literally like 5 minutes ago. She's like, you know, I'm a strong woman. I know I just need to win, and I don't trust anyone in the house. And she listed everybody. So we still don't know where her vote is at. However, because of that conversation, Alyssa now knows she needs to go talk to Turner. So Alyssa, while we've been recording, has went to Turner and basically told him, if you vote me out, we're not going to be friends in real life. Like, she tried to play the emotional card. Turner took his ass up to HOH to his king, Monty, and said, I don't like that. I think that's weird. The updates that we're seeing now is he's saying things like, that type of behavior makes me want to evict you. I hope Taylor wins the next HOH to get out Brittany. So he, from that, seems to be more enforced to get out Alyssa. So maybe it really don't matter where Brittany vote is at. But that is the recent updates right now.
Good. Sounds good to me.
Listen, Alyssa and Turner might be besties, but she forgot that man also has an ego. So you can't just approach him and be like, and threaten him, you know?
Mm-hmm. That man listens to men, not to women.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I think she definitely thinks her bond with Turner is closer than what it actually is, because she was talking to Brittany like, yeah, I think in a Final Four situation, like I would be able to vote, and Brittany was like, babe, Turner will put up me and you. She was like, no, I don't think he put up me. And it's like, okay, mama.
Literally. So it's looking like Taylor's gonna stay this week, which means it's looking like the Final Four will be Taylor, Brittany, Turner, and Monty, which is kind of a nasty Final Four. I don't know. Very interesting. Go.
As a Taylor stan, I'm hoping that Turner gets HOH, because if Turner gets HOH, no matter what happens with Veto, Taylor goes to Final Three. Because if Brittany wins, she's evicting Monty. If Monty wins, he's evicting Brittany. Most likely, hopefully, he better. Okay. He better.
He is the only bad scenario for Taylor is a Brittany HOH. Brittany, Taylor, and Turner are playing HOH. The only way Taylor can go home is if Brittany wins HOH. So all I want is for Brittany not to win HOH. Because if Taylor's HOH, she can't go home. If Turner's HOH, just like Lee said, no one's evicting her, because Brittany's evicting Monty, Monty's evicting Brittany, Taylor's evicting who gives a. So as long as Britt don't win HOH, Taylor Hive,
we good. Or if Brittany want to be a comp queen, all of a sudden, girl, win HOH and Veto, don't play in my face.
Don't just win HOH. You better win both.
Don't even say that, please. Oh my God.
I just don't want Brittany to win HOH, because Brittany winning HOH is so scary, because it's Turner, Monty, and Taylor who are the options. And if Turner wins Veto, Taylor's out. If Monty wins Veto, I don't know what he's doing. So Brittany just needs to not win HOH. I swear to God, if Brittany win HOH, I'm going to literally cry.
So maybe honestly, Taylor for HOH, just go ahead and slide her way into that Final Three. She did another comp win under her belt.
If Taylor wins HOH, it's possible Turner goes home. And if Turner goes home, everyone in Final Three is taking Taylor, and Taylor's winning the game.
That's what needs to happen.
I believe Monty will take Taylor. That's a hard belief, but I do think he might. Especially after he done got, well, and I believe that Brittany will take Taylor. So my thing is, if if Taylor wins HOH at Final Four and Brittany wins the veto, we got a season. Or even if Taylor wins the veto.
Yeah, Turner just needs to go next. Point blank, period.
If Turner can get fourth, that'll be nice. I even think Monty might have picked Turner if it's like next to Taylor. But I don't even want to risk it. So we're hoping for the best.
Okay, do y'all think there's a scenario where Turner would take Taylor?
Hell no.
Well, honestly, I'm trying to think. If it is Monty and Taylor, I don't know, because people keep mentioning her story. I can see him still thinking at that point, well, it's gonna be a struggle to beat Monty or Taylor. Let's say he's flying through with Monty and Taylor. That's the only situation I really see. I can see him thinking it's gonna be a struggle to beat either one. I'm gonna just go with my bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's definitely. I think he's taking Monty over anybody.
Maybe if it's Brittany and Taylor, he may be so because he hates Brittany. So he may be like, I am not sitting in final two with Brittany. I'm gonna take Taylor. I could see that, but I don't know because her story is pretty strong, and I can see him thinking I could beat Brittany.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I just want him to get fourth.
Which I think it does suck that Brittany has zero win equity at this point, because I feel like she should at least be able to beat Turner. Because I do feel like when it comes to having your own opinion and decision making in the game, to some extent, Brittany has more than Turner. Like, I just think Turner really, I don't like Turner at all.
I just don't think at the beginning I did feel bad for Brittany because I felt like her archetype and who she was as a person was the reason she wasn't respected. But over time, you got to get over that. Like, even Tiffany said it in the last podcast, like, you can't use age as an excuse. You can't use these crutches as an excuse. You can be a great player. You can get respect, no matter what your archetype is. And Brittany was talking about, oh, if I was 10 years younger, this would have been so much easier. I don't think that's the problem, babe. No offense, but I really don't think that's the problem. I think you're just not that good of a player. When it comes to getting people to like her, she's always had just a bad social game. And you can be an archetype and still have a good social game. And I just feel like she just doesn't. No shade. But we can get into rating these players, y'all.
Okay.
Sal, have you ever rated a player before?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, it's so fun because people really do not be rating players.
I love our guests because every time our guests come, they it's just like they come
with the come. Right. Okay, so Sal, we're gonna be rating these people. Okay, well, first of all, we're gonna be rating Terrence and Michael as overall players. After that, we'll be rating the other players who are still in the game, kind of based on where they're at this week. It's so close to the end, so we're also looking at win equity and their chances of winning, and then how they've just been playing, kind of the whole thing, the whole shebang. Okay. But first, we'll start with Terrence as an overall player.
The scale is what?
1 to 10, you can use 0.5. So, yeah. Or 0 to 10. We accept 0.
We do accept zeros. Can I start with Terrence, T-Dog?
Yes.
I just think Terrence, like, it's crazy because he could have been a really interesting player. Mm-hmm. I always love players who are just cutthroat to the max. Like, I don't give a fuck about anybody. Like, I'm going to do what I have to do to get to the end. But it's just like Terrence did that strategy the entire, like, the worst way. Like, the one HOH he had where he had some real power, he got ran like a dog by the man that literally got evicted the next week. And then he tried to save said racist man. It's just really, really weird. Like, I think a lot of people's game this season was ruined by their blindness towards hating Taylor, because a big focus of the first portion of his game, instead of actually trying to build, was just bonding with people over his hatred of Taylor. Once that wasn't the norm anymore, I mean, a lot of people were not able to get into a good footing, and he's one of those people. I mean, it's really just been embarrassment after embarrassment, I feel like, for Terrence every single week. For me, it's a 2. I mean, I really think, like, the fact that he even got evicted in the place he did, similar to Jasmine, it's mainly because of who they are, their personality. And any other season, I think Terrence is the GOAT. He should have been. The fact that he was someone that could even been targeted, I feel like I said, is based on him and his social game.
Sal?
So, I think when Terrence focuses, he actually makes good arguments. When he was pitching the family reunion, was that what he was calling it?
Yeah.
To Taylor, she was like listening to him. I think she could have been on board, but I do think he just lets his bitter self get in the way of every plan he comes up with, which could be good. So, because he has the potential, but he never has the follow through, I don't know. I think I'll give him a 4.
Okay, I support that. I feel like I haven't been as objective this season because the people are just so horrid. So it's a little harder for me to separate their game from them being terrible people. So I'm gonna try. I do think that Terrence has some skill. When I'm rating players, I like to consider the fact that they have the ability to be strategic, period. I do think Terrence kind of does. Like Sal said, he has some good pitches when he tries. Even when he tries to strategize here and there, he'll have a good argument. However, I don't think it's good enough to really consider him a good player because it just isn't as consistent and it's not as effective. He really doesn't have a great effect on the game when he does strategize. I also feel like when it comes to social game, he's really lacking. And once again, similar to Brittany, I can't just say, "Oh, they're this archetype, so that's why they're lacking." I do feel like it's unfair that the age is such a difference in the season in the game. However, I just don't think he was good socially. I just think he was bad socially. Like Lee said, he focused a lot on hating Taylor, and he tried to use that as his social game, which I don't think was a good idea, which is why he never really had a friend in this season. The people he feels closest to are Nicole and Daniel, and I don't even know if they talk about him. Like, do they even know who he is for real? And I feel like that's a problem. So I think that's another knock on his game. He is, I think, good at kind of playing the middle a little bit, but I don't think it's good enough to really account for much. So I'll give him a 3.
Child, I just want to give a quick update for the girls.
Oh God.
Oh, no.
Brittany spiraling ass is now officially trying to flip the vote on Taylor.
but this my thing, real quick. If she goes to Turner about this, I feel like Turner's gonna be like, Brittany's annoying as hell. The way Turner has operated so far is if someone tries to do something that seems extra to him, it makes him want to do the opposite of what they're doing. I do think if Brittany tries to come at him crazy, like if Brittany tries to pitch to Turner, I can see him getting a little bit annoyed by him trying to pitch to Turner. And also, Alyssa just tried to pitch to him. So if he's like, Alyssa and Brittany are trying to pitch to me, that means they're probably going to be working together. It depends. I don't like that she's doing this, but I'm hopeful that Turner will tell his master.
Wait, who is she doing this to?
She's talking with Alyssa.
Okay. Okay.
She's so annoying. Anyways, Michael, as an overall player, I think I have a few to say, but I'll let Sal. You can go first.
I go first. Okay. I mean, I know comp wins isn't a strategy, but he did win so much. I do think he actually did a good job socially by being in the background a lot. I think honestly his biggest social mistake was the whole Kyle thing. Like seriously, even just game wise, he should have either said something when it happened or never said anything, period. If he want like for his own game, So because he tanked it so hard, he does have to be and because he like attached himself to Brittany of all people. I'm gonna give him a 7.
Okay.
I think my biggest issue with Michael this entire game was I feel like his social game was never up to par. Earlier in the season, he got brought into the Pose Pack because of Paloma. I will say I don't think that was much of the socialness on his own. Paloma wanted to bring him in because she felt like, he would choose the girls over the guys, mainly because he was gay. Let's just be honest here. And further into the season, he got brought into the leftovers, but that was mainly through Kyle and them as a whole wanting to flip the house. I feel like past that, he never really expanded past Brittany, Taylor, or Kyle. Even when Kyle wanted to create his little race war alliance, at the time when Michael wanted that to happen, Michael wasn't going to Alyssa and Turner himself because he didn't have the connections to really do so. He kind of hoped Kyle would do that for him. I feel like what kept him safe was the competition's ability. I mean, he was only vulnerable like twice. He won a competition literally like every single week. I mean, you can't even entertain the fact of getting him out. And then when they could, they did. I mean, the fact that his game came down to you had to win or you went home, I don't think that's good. Now, him as a player, I do find him really interesting. You know, despite him using race as a strategy, he did use it at the correct time. He got his target out. And I feel like he's someone who is consistently thinking about the game. He's consistently coming up with strategies and thinking about his end game and how to get there. It's just, you know, once he went on that comp run, it was really over for any type of other game he wanted to play. Which is why I don't know why he got so confused, why he was a target towards the end, and threw Brittany under the bus in the way he did. I mean, I guess it didn't matter if he was going home, but hey, I feel like for me, Michael would be a 6, just because I don't like that he had to depend on the winning towards the end, especially so early towards the end. I mean, he had to win out like at top 10. You know what I mean? And he was doing it. He was doing it. But it's just like, I don't think that's good. That wasn't good. That was not good.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. And I think it's kind of a hot take that we don't care that much about his wins, but honestly, competitions just really don't mean anything, especially if you're not winning competition strategically. I feel like every part of this game, the physical aspect, the social aspect, and the strategic aspects requires strategic thinking. I don't believe he had strategic thinking towards his competition wins at all. I think it was impulsive to win a lot of those competitions. There were times that he had to win, but other than that, he shouldn't have won, but he still did. And I feel like that's a big problem. Like, I mean, think about it. The people who hold the record for most competition wins, which is literally 9, have never won the game. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, competition wins, but they won this." But it's like, why? Honestly, competitions is finna mean nothing to me. I'm finna not even consider it because you won 9 competitions and lost, and so did Janelle. So it's like, I don't even care that you won comps. So now I'm just gonna look at his social game and his strategic game. I feel like socially he was terrible. I do feel like that's a hot take, but I do feel like socially it might seem like he was doing fine. However, I'm not trying to knock him, like just because I don't like him or anything, but I do feel like a lot of his social benefit came from his archetype more than his actual doing. Like Lee said, Paloma inviting him into the alliance was purely based on the fact that she felt like he would choose the girls. Even Amira, when Amira was running the house, she said Michael should be with us because Michael will choose us over the guys. A lot of the reason that he had any social connection to any of these people, which clearly was not real, because as soon as Amira went home after she was the one using him, they did not like him. Amira went home because she was using him because he might have chose the women over the men. And as soon as she went home, none of the other women cared about him. They started bashing him. Jasmine and Indy, they did not like him immediately after Amira went home, which shows that it was never his social game. It was more so people were trying to use him because his archetype indicated that he might choose them over someone else. And I think he never showed any social prowess. When Kyle wanted to use him, it was not because he had it's not because he actively went and made a relationship with Kyle. Kyle went to Michael and made a relationship with him back in the beginning. And I just feel like his social game is just so bad that I just really can't I don't really want to give him a good rating. I think strategically he has interesting thoughts, but interesting doesn't always mean good. I think he plays interestingly. I think he throws things at the wall when he really needs, when his back's against the wall, he'll do a lot. But some of his strategic decisions, especially at the beginning of the game, immediately showed me that he was not that girl, because him not wanting to bring Taylor into the leftovers, him not wanting to bring Taylor into the initial alliance. Kyle wanted to make a Final Four. He's the one who was like, we shouldn't do that. He's the one who said, maybe we shouldn't bring her to the leftovers. Kyle had to tell him to bring her into the leftovers. And Taylor being in the leftovers is one of the main reasons Michael even got this far to top 6. He needed her in that alliance. So I just feel like strategically he wasn't that girl either. I'm going to give him a 5.
Okay.
And that's crazy. But I said what the, you know what?
You
no,
said
I said what I said. I did. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. And now let's get to the people who are actually in the game. We can talk about Alyssa. If there's anything to say,
I thought you said people that's actually in the game. No, stop.
No, if there's anything to say about Alyssa,
no, honestly,
like
Alyssa, like I said, this week is actually putting in some pretty good work. I mean, like I said, it's 2 weeks before the finale, but I mean, I guess better late than never. You know what I mean? I mean, the vote this week is Brittany, along with Turner. She has had this relationship with Turner. But she's also working on Brittany. I think she does really, really good work, playing the victim with her, getting her on her side. There's a recent conversation now where they're still strategizing. Brittany seems fully flipped on getting out Taylor, which is pretty good on Alyssa's part. I do feel like that's pretty bad for Taylor because she has not been talking to this girl like that. And Alyssa has seen that opening and has taken it. I feel like overall, she's not someone who is just strategically, at the highest level. But, clearly she knows what to do when she's trying to survive. I feel like she's having the right conversations with the right people, point blank, period. And I feel like at this point, I mean, she's in the same amount of danger as Taylor. So it's going to be a 5 for me this week. Because, I mean, if she ends up staying, I feel like she's in a similar position as Taylor, where I don't think she gets cut at 4, and if she's in final 3, like I said, I was saying this a while ago. I don't think there's a non-zero chance Alyssa wins this game because she does have certain friends in the jury. I mean, I think she would have at least 3 set jury votes. If Brittany asks get out Alyssa, I mean, if Brittany gets out Taylor in this way, I can see Taylor voting for Alyssa. I can see Michael voting for Alyssa. I mean, it's not impossible, unfortunately. So,
Okay.
So,
I know Alyssa hasn't done pretty much anything except for right now. But hot take, I actually do think she's really strong socially. I don't believe that that's strategic at all because it isn't. I think she's just lucky to be a very social person in a social game. But it's gotten her to this point, and no one really has viewed her as a threat. Most people are pretty good with her. I don't know, it might end up helping her, just the fact that she has gotten so close to Brittany just by talking to her the way that she knows Brittany likes to be talked to. Yeah, I would give her a 5 too.
Ooh, y'all doing a lot.
I mean, we're being objective.
Okay, this is how I feel. When we get a winner, we rate the winners also, right? So when someone wins, like last season, Xavier won, we rated him, a number 1 through 10 as a player. Some people, even if they win, their number will be low. And Alyssa is one of those people. So I will be giving her a 3. I do agree. Yeah, I do agree with what Sal said, especially about the social part. I love social players. I feel like they're really underestimated and they're not really seen. But I feel like her social play is a little bit less on purpose than others. And I feel like because it's a little bit less on purpose, I just rate it a little lower. I feel like if she stays, it's going to be hard for her to win. And why is it hard for you to win when you're in Final 4? I feel like if it's hard for you to win when you're in Final 4, then I'm not giving you a 5. I'm giving you a 3. Because that means even if you do win, I might give you a 5 then. But it's difficult. She's won 0 competition, so I can't expect her to win a competition, which means whoever wins the competition will probably be taking her to Final 2, which means they'll probably get the credit and they'll probably win the game. I think the only person she could beat is Brittany. However, Brittany would have to win the Final 3 HOH and take Alyssa, or Alyssa would have to win the Final 3 HOH and take Brittany.
All right, but I think and go on her Paris
she's going to get a 3 if she stays and goes on her Paris comp run as a winner. She's a loser. Even as a winner, she's a loser. Because this is what I'm saying. If Brittany, let's say hypothetically Alyssa stays, which is not happening because Taylor's staying. Let's say hypothetically Alyssa and Brittany both make it past the next round, which is not likely because Turner and Monty are way better at comps than Alyssa. And let's say hypothetically she's in Final 3 with either Turner or Monty. I feel like that other person is most likely winning the last HOH. So how's she gonna win? Let's say hypothetically Brittany wins the last HOH, takes Alyssa. I kind of feel like if Brittany wins the last HOH, takes Alyssa, people are gonna be like, well, damn, we kind of got to give her the win. Possibly. I also can see her losing. But I feel like if it's even a possibility that somebody it's a 3. Next. Brittany. Britt Flea. You know what? I'll go first with Britt Flea.
Okay.
whew, it's such a loaded person, There's just so much. So I feel like Brittany is unstable. And I feel like that instability, really makes her game less favorable. Something that we've mentioned before, Xavier has it, Turner kind of has it, Monty kind of has it, is that if you're a stable person, or maybe some might say passive, you make less mistakes. And a lot of the times you can win Big Brother by just making the least amount of mistakes. And I feel like Brittany is the opposite. Like, she consistently makes mistakes. It was week 1 when Amira found out, when she told Pooch that Amira lied, that whatever the fuck happened, she got caught in a lie week 1. And she got caught in a lie week 2. She got caught in a lie week 3. She got caught in a lie week 4. All the way to this week, she consistently gets caught in lies. And it's, like I said, it's just the opposite of Xavier, of you made so many mistakes. And I feel like, once again, even if she wins, it's such a sloppy win. I'm not against active players. I'm not even against making mistakes. I think it's a little bit better to play more hard and make a little bit of mistakes rather than not do anything. No shade to the person I was just mentioning. But I do think it's a little better if you are a little bit more active. But Brittany's just does anything. Like, right now, she's trying to save Alyssa just because Alyssa had one conversation with her. And it's just not making sense to me. It really isn't. So I'm just gonna give her a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Can she win? No.
No. I feel like Brittany, I would give her the 3, but I feel like I want to give her a 4 because the competition ability is coming up. I mean, Michael's out. People are able to win more competition. She won Veto this week and is getting herself to Final 4. And she was 9 seconds away from winning HOH. I feel like with this comp ability ramping up, and she now knows she needs to win. I can see her beasting her way to Final 3, and maybe she does earn some respect. Let's say she wins the next HOH or Veto, and then she wins the Final 3 HOH, takes Alyssa, or takes Taylor, or takes Turner. I don't think she is down and out, because that is a way she can prove herself. I can see, once they show the jury footage and they saw Brittany had one veto, I can see them be like, okay, Brittany. Because like, that was a big move for her. She was going home if she did not win that veto. Point blank, period. So I think that's really big for her. The win equity is very low. It is. But I think she has more of a window to turn it around if she go this comp beast route. And I feel like it's possible.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to give her a 3.5. Because I do think her best move was attaching herself to Michael, who, really, he got her through the game. But whatever, that still was her move to stay loyal to him. I do think she has pulled out the wins she needs to. However, people will respect that. But the fact that I think she could lose to Alyssa because her jury management is that bad.
Yeah,
makes it have to be. It can't be a 4, but I do think it's like a little better than a 3. 3.5.
I support, and I will say, Brittany, she is playing the game, and I that's good, and that might, and I feel like that is another part that could get her some respect in the jury. Like Lee said, if she wins the veto next week, and if she wins the final HOH and takes Alyssa or something like that, or even takes Turner, I can see a lot of people in the jury. Well, if I was in the jury and I didn't like Brittany, I could see after that situation happening, I can be like, at least Brittany played the game. And you know what? Because she played the game, no matter how messy it was, no matter how much I don't like her, no matter how sloppy she was playing, I got to give her that win. She played hard. Hard. So it might incentivize people to be like, she played so damn hard. Like, I kind of want to give her the win. I think I would vote Brittany if it's Turner or if it's Alyssa against her.
So Brittany, just let Alyssa know that unless anything else crazy happens this week, I am voting to keep you. You cannot let anyone know, not even Turner. But so at this point, Brittany is planning on keeping Alyssa, and it's going to be 1-1 or 2-0 Taylor.
But if she's planning on keeping Alyssa, but she doesn't want Turner to know, how?
Right.
Because if Turner always thinks Brittany's evicting Alyssa, he's never gonna not evict Alyssa because he's gonna know Monty's also
Well, in
evicting
this
Alyssa.
conversation that they've had, Alyssa has said, I don't think Turner's going to evict me because he's been promising, oh, we're friends. Like, I'm not going to. Because Turner has been saying to Alyssa this entire week, I'm not evicting you, even though he has told Monty he is. So I think Alyssa and Brittany are going on the fact that, oh, Turner is saying he's keeping me, he's telling the truth. And Brittany's like, well, if he's telling the truth, I'm keeping you too. So is he going to be 2-0 or 1-1?
Girl, so he's lying. Confirmed. So it's gonna be 1-1. And now Taylor's not even gonna say Brittany next week. So if Taylor wins veto, she's gonna evict Brittany against Monty and Turner too.
Well, Brittany will definitely lie and say she kept Taylor.
Will Taylor believe that?
She might. Let's be honest.
She might.
God. Okay.
She might. I just feel like it makes no sense. And I feel like Turner would be like, it literally makes no sense. I can see Taylor. That's the thing. She might, but also Taylor's believed when people told Taylor Brittany was lying to her face, Taylor believed that as soon as they finished the conversation. It's not like she was tricked or bamboozled by a Brittany lie. She always was, whenever they said Brittany lying, she was like, Brittany lying. And she cried about it. So, I mean, the thing is that Brittany doing this, if it does not work, it opens up the door for Taylor to just evict Brit. Like, now no one's saving you next week. Now all three people might evict you if they win veto next week. That's horrible. That's dumb as hell. She really should not be doing this, especially because she knows Turner promised Monty. It's just, you just had a conversation with Turner where Turner's like, you don't know where my vote's going. She's like, you're saving Taylor. He's like, oop, you're right. Like, that alone should have been like, okay, I'm good. Like, what is she doing? A 2. I'm bringing her down.
Oh, no.
I am. Because it's very possible. It's very, very possible that if this doesn't work, when this doesn't work, Taylor evicts her next week. Now everyone's evicting you next week. Monty. How y'all feel about Monty?
Monty, I feel like, I don't know. Like, now that Taylor is in danger, I mean, I said at the beginning of the podcast, if Taylor stays, it's a pretty successful HOH. If not, I mean, it's not good. He wants Taylor to stay. He wants Alyssa to go. If it ends up shaping up to where Alyssa goes, I mean, that's on him. Because why did you re-nom Taylor in the first place if you didn't want her to go home? Be fucking for real. That's one. 2, I do think Brittany deserved to get called out on what she got called out for, but it just wasn't the time. He knew she had veto. They knew she was the vote. It's just, I don't know. They haven't been handling Brittany well at all this week. I feel like Monty's saving grace is that he has Turner. I think he has Turner no matter what, which is really good for him going into Final Four. I think he has the competition ability on his side, and he definitely has the win equity. I'm gonna keep him at a 7, because even if Taylor does go home, like I said, I think that's a knock. I mean, that's a knock on his HOH, but that doesn't really affect his game too much overall. Because I do think Turner will still want Brittany out. I think Alyssa can still be convinced to get out Brittany in that situation. So. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep it at the 7.
There's one more thing I want to say about Brittany because you just mentioned it. Him having Turner is really good because both of them are good at comps. Brittany now wanting to evict Taylor over someone who has won 0 competitions is ridiculous. If you go into Final Four, you and Alyssa instead of you and Taylor versus Monty and Turner, babe, which one of y'all gonna? You have to win the comp because Alyssa has never won one. When you could have Taylor, who's came in second multiple times, who's won a competition. Like, that's even dumber. Like, I should give her a 1. Anyways, back to Monty. I do feel like this is my thing. If Taylor goes, that's bad. But honestly, if Turner goes, I feel like it was worse because I feel like Taylor could have brought. I think Taylor will bring Brittany over Monty at this point, and I feel like risking Taylor is more valuable or is less risky than risking Turner. I feel like him saving Turner was the most important thing he needed to do this week. So I won't knock him for nominating Taylor. It's only 4 people left in the game for you to nominate. You did not have options. He's nominating Taylor by default. It was not on purpose. So I can't knock him for that, in my opinion. Also, when it comes to the fact that Taylor's even at risk, it's because he was 2 seconds behind from playing in the veto. And I feel like that's a little unfair too. Like, I don't think I like the time veto shit. Because he didn't get to play in veto. We don't know if he would have won. So I feel like him not being able to play in veto is another reason that Taylor is nominated. And that has nothing to do with him. It's kind of just the rules of the game. So it's like the situations that he's in right now of Taylor possibly being at risk to leave is because he wasn't allowed to play in veto. And because of the fact there's only 3 people that he can nominate. So it's like, can't really knock him for that. I feel like he made the right decision this week. His target was Alyssa or Brittany. I feel like that was the best decision for him because Taylor's taking him to. Well, Taylor is an ally that he has, and Turner's taking him to final two most likely. So he protected his two allies. If Taylor goes, that's a little bit bad for him, but it's not really under his control, like I said. So I still think he has one of the best win equities under Taylor. I will say. I think he could win the competition, the veto next week. I think he has a okay chance at that. So it's just becoming risky with this situation of Brittany wanting Alyssa to stay and shit. And also, even without Alyssa staying, Brittany can win this next veto and he could just go home. So I'm gonna give him a 7.
Yeah, I think Monty
is
7.5.
My bad. So.
Okay. Monty is definitely overall pretty strong socially. A lot of people in jury just will vote for him. I do think he made a great move by manipulating Turner into getting Michael out. I also agree that he, needs Turner. Like he should probably trust Turner more to keep him. I think, like going forward, than potentially Taylor, because I do think Taylor is smart, so she should keep Brittany really. But the problem is if Taylor really does leave, especially after them hooking up, and she goes to jury and she's like, this man fucked me and he got me out of the house, he has no chance of winning. And that's purely on him, Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm going to have to take a little bit away from him for putting him up and then still putting her up and then still choosing to hook up with her when, I don't know. So, I mean, I would give him a 7 still, but yeah. It's just too risky. Too much has happened.
There's so much happening. Child, this Brittany girl for to piss me the fuck off. Why is she talking about Taylor?
I just saw that girl.
Taylor has been playing all sides. She has been lying. She's had a final 3 with Michael, a final 3 with me, her and Monty, and a final 3 with me. You, her. She goes wherever the wind blows. Where do you go?
Where the trash goes.
Like, girl, this is a lot of self-projecting.
That's real interesting to me.
That's what pisses me off about Brittany is because she has been self-projecting this entire time. Literally every single thing she says about Taylor is what she feels about herself, and it really pisses me off because it's not game anymore. It's personal and it's weird. Like she really needs to look inside herself after this show. Go to therapy. I don't know. Like you too grown to be this insecure, mamas. Taylor has let's be honest. The reason why she wants to vote Taylor out is because Taylor has not been kissing her ass this week and coddling her. You're a grown fucking woman, Brittany. You don't need someone following you around 24/7 and drying your tears. Oh my God. I'm so over her.
What did you give Monty?
I gave him a 7. Actually, I'm taking it down. 6.5. I'm too scared about this Taylor thing, with her leaving. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not good for him.
Yeah.
Out here, Taylor.
She's embarrassing. I feel like I am low-key slightly disappointed in Taylor this week, only because I feel like she knows that Brittany is her vote, and she knows that Brittany is unstable, and she also knows how Brittany felt about being isolated. She should have definitely put in work to basically kiss her ass. Like I said, Brittany is only mad because she's not kissing her ass. Taylor should have kissed her ass. Like you saw how she reacted when she won that veto. That was definitely the time to just stay on her. I feel like she can't do much about the insecurities just in itself. Like that's just Brittany, but that is some work she could have done. This week in general, I feel like she feels safe because of the original plan. I think Taylor in general puts so much trust in the people that she considers allies. That's why she was so shook about Brittany playing against her in general, which is like, if you would have been thinking long-term, more in-game, I think she would have put in perspective that Brittany would be doing these type of things. Like, you really have to... She should not be too comfortable. I think she hasn't been comfortable at all on the block, and this is the week she's the most comfortable, and it's like, babe, there's only 2 votes. And they're from two people who one tried to get you out thrice, and the second is literally crazy. So I just feel like if she goes home, it's not necessarily her fault, 100%, but it's like there's some work she could have done to ensure she doesn't. So it's going to be a 5 for me for Taylor this week. It really sucks because her win equity was really great, and I saw a path for her. But this crazy Brit Flea is ruining it for her. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I would give her a 6 because I do think she actually, even just this week, was playing a good social game actually until today. And it's not even because of her and Monty, but it is because like she and him were like up there for so long. And y'all, I know everyone knows that they were supposed to be having a sleepover, right? But we also know that Brit is crazy and she spirals, and everyone in the house spirals in general. Also, like they're already suspicious of her all the time. Maybe she doesn't realize how suspicious they are of her all the time, but I don't think it helped that she like didn't come down, didn't just like immediately go to Brittany when that's really the person whose vote she needs. And I'm just like a little I'm just like a little scared of what's going to happen because she hasn't glued herself to Brittany the way she should. So, but I do still think she has a chance because Brittany still does trust her whenever she talks to her. So she has a chance to like, reel back in. So for that reason, I'm going to give her a 6.
Yeah, I don't think I'm as scared about the situation as probably I should be. That's just kind of how I am. So I'm not necessarily worried that Taylor will go. I don't believe that Taylor will go. I believe even if Brittany doesn't vote for her, Turner will. Which sounds crazy, but that's just how I feel. So I'm not necessarily that scared. I feel like if Taylor stays, she has a huge chance of winning the game. I feel like it's only a niche situation where she probably won't win the game, and that's like a Turner, Monty, her final 3, and then one of them wins the HOH, which could happen. But at this point, I still would give her a big ups on the possibility of winning the game. There is this weird situation with Brittany, so that's going to have to bring her down for where I wanted to give her. So I'll give her a 7. I'll give her a 7. My girl ain't going nowhere. Turn.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like Turner, like, I mean, it's really hard to keep giving commentary on Turner because I just feel like his game is just very run of the mill, go with the flow. He's just down for the ride. I mean, like we mentioned, this week he is doing what another male is telling him to do, which is evicting Alyssa. Now, if he follows through with that, period, Turn Daddy, we love you because Brittany ass is tripping. But it's like, for his game, well, I don't know if he should be keeping Alyssa for his game because I don't know if I think Alyssa would choose Turner over Brittany, honestly, if he put work into the allegiance. See, that's the thing. It just shows that Turner really is not that good at this game because he could have Alyssa attached to him to where she wouldn't want to cut him, but he really doesn't put work into that at all. I mean, even last week, he straight up ignored her until he felt like he needed her again when all this craziness happened. So I don't know. I just feel like, unfortunately, he still has a chance to win the game, and I don't think he's going home. I can see him in a final 3 situation. So I think I'm going to give him a 5 as well, to be honest. He hasn't had much agency as a player, but I mean, I don't think he's going anywhere. So.
So. Okay. I would also give him a 5 because I do think he's good socially, but also very similarly to Alyssa, I think that's by luck. Like, I think he's just naturally someone who people view as an easy person to get along with. So don't want to give him like that much credit. I also really don't like that he just does whatever people tell him to do. But he does have a chance at winning. So, like a 50-50 chance. That's why I'm giving him a 5 out of 10,
Wait, pause. Y'all. Brittany is dumb. So the plan is to make Turner feels like Brittany is definitely voting out Alyssa. That way, it will trick him into wanting to feel comfortable giving Alyssa a sympathy vote.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like when she said, "I'm not telling him I'm the vote. I'm not gonna tell him to. I was like, why wouldn't? I'm confused.
I don't know why are they going the extra mile to think that Turner would give a fuck about a sympathy vote.
The same reason I gave Taylor a 7. They're dumb.
Okay, I won't lie. It's kind of an interesting idea that could work on Turner because he obviously the other strategy of like telling him directly isn't going to work either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
But my thing is, he already knows that Brittany isn't voting. He thinks that Brittany is voting out Alyssa. So I don't know how continuing to make him think what he already thinks would change anything.
Okay.
Especially because the reason he's voting with them is because of Monty, because he doesn't want to harp that relationship with Monty.
No, this is definitely stupid because
okay.
If he thinks that Brittany is voting out Taylor, that means it's gonna tie regardless. He knows Monty would evict Alyssa. That would just make him go ahead.
It would make Monty or Taylor mad at him. Why would he do that? Like, he's just going.
But no, I wasn't even saying that. It's just the fact that why would he go to the extra mile to tie it
for a sympathy vote
for Monty? Because Monty would definitely just vote out Alyssa. Like, you might as well just
a sympathy vote. A sympathy vote.
He ain't giving that vote.
I think my whole theory on, shall we say, Turner's feelings towards Alyssa makes me a little shaky. That's why I'm like, I don't know, maybe it'll work. But
yeah,
you know.
I see what you're saying. But also I just know Taylor's saying. I might give her a 7.5. But I'll keep it cute.
She was literally renominated, babe. Calm down.
It was only 2 options. You act like it was 50 options.
Turner wasn't nominated at all.
Turner couldn't be nominated at all for Monty's game.
Well, he wasn't nominated, and it had 4 options. So I'm just saying.
Well, that doesn't mean much, though.
Well, that don't mean she should be a 7.5 neither.
Yeah, she's not. She's a 7. I'm giving Turner a 5. Also, he's just not doing anything. I feel like it's going to be a little hard for him to win because he doesn't do anything. But
and he has that's the thing. Like, I mean, if Taylor stays this week, well, when Taylor stays this week, apparently he has 2 people with the biggest win equity ever in front of him. I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's
gonna be pretty hard. So I'm gonna just keep him at a 5 also. And shit, we're done. It was only 5 people. And put them in order.
This used to be so much longer. Jesus.
I know, right?
Imagine we were still rating Jasmine and Indy and Daniel. Oof.
Yo, you just saying names of people I don't.
Not Brittany at the bottom, child.
Love to see it. I really drug her down to we're really none of us.
I don't know why Taylor that high when she's sitting up on the block and all this shit happening. But
who should it be? Turner? You gave Turner a 5 and Taylor a 5.
Well, I agree with this overall rating.
I agree with it too. I don't believe it should be because you got to remember, if Taylor stays, she beats everybody in final 2. So that's
look. I'm just scared because I don't know what these heifers is doing.
Nothing. That's the issue. Brittany and Alyssa at the bottom where they belong. Turner in the middle where he belongs, and the black people at the front. Period. But not even because they're black, just because they're better players. No shade.
I don't know. I don't like how this week is going at all. Like, literally, Tiffany just tweeted. She was like, "Why is Brittany and Alyssa having so much time to talk alone today?" Which is so fucking true. I don't understand. Like that's why I said I was so disappointed in Taylor this week. Because Taylor, girl, go talk to Brittany. Why are you not talking to Brittany? And
you know what I want?
No, literally earlier in the day, Monty made the comment, "Ooh, it's like they whispering in that bathroom," and she was like, "Girl, it's okay." Like, Taylor be so unbothered, babe. You need to be more bothered, okay? These girls is plotting.
Mm-hmm. In Taylor's defense, a little bit, because that's my girl. I will say
that's my girl too. I think that's what makes me so upset about it, because she's my girl too, and I have been defending her. But it's like we're at top 5. It is not time to lollygag. It's really not. You're nominated, and there's 2 votes.
Mm-hmm. I will say, in Taylor's defense, of anybody in Big Brother history, I believe this is the most a person has had to play pretend and kiss ass throughout the entire season. I remember, what was it, week 4? She literally broke down crying at how she could not speak to people because when she spoke to them, they thought she was fake. And then when she wasn't speaking to them, she was a bitch and she didn't like them. And then every time she did speak to them, Jasmine was asking her to make her food. I feel like she's tired. And I feel like I'm going to give her a little leeway on being tired, because there's not any person in Big Brother history who has had to sit here and be hated this much by you. Have to talk to people who hate you all season. Till now, Brittany hates her. Brittany just this week sat there in that room for 2 hours gaslighting her, and she knew she was gaslighting her. I
Exact,
can't imagine how that feels.
But that's it. And I understand that. But she's been putting it up with it for this long. This is the last leg, and she knows how Brittany feels about her, and this is why Brittany is slipping on her in this very moment. So she needs to be talking to her.
But she's tired of talking to Brittany. She's been talking to Brittany.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Because when she gets fucking 5th place for being tired.
And when she wins.
Okay. I hope
when
so.
she wins.
I hope I'm proven wrong.
And even if hypothetically in this imaginary world, I don't know what y'all are talking about, where she gets 5th place, she's still winning America's favorite. She's still coming back in 2 seasons for All-Stars, and she's gonna win All-Stars, where she doesn't have to be crying literally every week about how everybody hates her. Like, this girl has been through so much. I'm gonna give her a little pass on not wanting to coddle Brittany. Brittany wants to be coddled, like she wants her balls held throughout this week. And I'm not gonna be mad at Taylor for not holding this girl's ball throughout this week. I'm not.
She should have been holding and groping. She should have been flirting and cuddling with Brittany.
She don't have to because she don't have Turner. That's the thing. But that's the thing. She put in work for somebody. She knows Monty runs Turner. She knows the only reason she has Turner's vote is because Monty runs him. So if she runs Monty and Monty runs Turner, she has the votes. She put in some work. She put in work somewhere. At least she wasn't sitting alone. And at least she was sitting in that man's bed. Because if she does, if Brittany evicts her and she stays, it's because she was sucking Monty dick. Well, she wasn't sucking Monty. It's because she was in that bed with Monty, and Monty said, "Turner, you will not be voting her out." Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, she put in work somewhere. It was not at Brittany, but she put in work somewhere. So if she stays, it's because Monty said, "Turner, you're not voting out my girl." So, and who's that? That's because Taylor put in that work with Monty. So I'm not gonna play in this girl's face.
Okay.
No, she go home. She go home.
If Taylor is not talking to Brittany because she's putting work in with Turner, then it would be okay.
Then it makes sense.
Because she needs Turner's vote. She does not need to do anything.
But Turner's vote is Monty's vote. And that's what y'all are forgetting. Turner doesn't have his own vote. He's never had his vote the entire season.
That's the thing. You're putting too much trust in a man that has flipped. No, in Turner.
I'm putting trust in Monty. I'm putting trust in Monty. Turner has done everything a man has said all season. Why stop now?
I don't know. He might switch up at the end. Maybe he wants to switch it up. I don't know.
Not for a woman, and especially not for Brittany.
It's for Brittany. It's for Alyssa.
It's not for Alyssa.
When it comes to Alyssa and Monty, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I could definitely see him being like, "Oh, I don't want to lose her friendship." And you do never under. And first of all, that's the thing. Really, never underestimate white woman tears. Okay, I definitely think Alyssa can get that vote if she try hard enough.
I think Monty got that vote on lock.
Let's pray.
I don't gotta pray. He got that vote on lock, and Taylor knows that. Like,
she's definitely need to pray. We need God for this week.
She's good.
We need God.
She's good. Taylor and Karma. God has been watching over Taylor all. Like, he's looking, babe. Like, she's good. She's good.
I'm just so pissed because I accepted her leaving so many times in the week. I didn't think that was even a chance this week. And it's
she's not going home. There's not a chance. She's not going home.
It better not be. That's all I gotta say. And if at the end of this week she go home, I'm coming out beat your ass, Pharaoh. Because don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. I swear to God, if she go home, it's gonna be me and you.
I'm saying it right here, y'all. Mark my words. Taylor will not be going home. Taylor will be winning this game.
And if she goes home this Thursday, we're doing a drag Pharaoh video because I don't know.
And you know what?
Perfect.
I'll accept. I have to accept. Do y'all have any more comments? It's gonna be Final Four. Shit is getting crazy. Any more comments? No. Questions?
I think we covered it.
I mean,
girl, real quick. Oh no, we already got into it.
What?
I was gonna talk about the jury segment a little bit because the way they gagged Kyle, I was just thinking about the way they gagged Kyle, and I love that.
It was so beautiful.
I love that for us. It was. Anyways, Taylor will be winning the season. That's it for me. Everybody say bye.
Bye.